Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we have a Phillies 2025 season preview video here with Garrett. We have a lot to talk about in today's
Yeah.
episode. Is there anything you want to say before we begin?
No. Opening day today. Um, I think the Phillies start Thursday. Yeah, in DC on
Mhm.
Thursday, which should be a sweep, but with this Phillies team, God knows.
Yeah,
But
we never really know.
no, I think it should be interesting. I'm interested to. I saw a little bit of what you were saying, but I'm interested to see your total opinions on the
Okay.
team right now.
Yeah, all right. So we'll just get into the off season. I think we share the opinion that it was kind of an underwhelming off season,
Yes, I
especially
agree.
for like what our rival teams and what the major contenders were doing. I feel like the Dodgers with going out and getting Sasaki, they got Blake Snell, they bolstered up their bullpen, and we got Jordan Romano, but we got Jesus Luzardo, who I kind of like
Yeah.
as our five, but it's really just not moving me.
I think I don't know. I think Luzardo hurt last year, but had a low 3 ERA the 2 years before. Very good pitch mix. Um, I have he's probably the best fifth starter in the entire MLB.
Yeah, I
Like I don't
definitely
think
agree.
there's anybody close. But then again, like getting on to like some of my predictions we'll get to later, I think that by the end of the season he'll be in the bullpen.
I could see that
Yeah.
because depending where Abel and Painter are in
Yeah.
coming up, he definitely would bump down.
Yep.
I think Jesus, the good thing about him is I feel like he has that ability any given game to just be lights out
I agree.
because he has such good stuff and he
Yeah.
has a very high whiff percentage. So if he's feeling it one day, I think he can just
Yeah.
be lights out, and that's huge for us. So,
Kepler, Kepler, I honestly, Kepler, or I'll start with Romano since you mentioned him already. Romano, I honestly don't mind at all. He's like a little bit worse version of Jeff Hoffman, in my opinion.
yeah,
I loved Jeff Hoffman,
yeah.
and so I was really upset to see him go. But I mean, Romano, 88th percentile in his fastball velocity. I mean, he only relies on two pitches, which are his fastball and his slider. But was hurt last year, but before that was an all-star the 2 years prior. I think he's going to be good. I mean, the one thing that he really struggles with is he allows hard contact consistently,
It's not
but
good for this Phillies
which
bullpen,
isn't a
who
good
allows a
thing.
lot of it.
But I think that with throwing as hard as he does, I think that kind of makes sense though. I feel
Yeah,
like that's why.
yeah.
But no, I like him. I think brings he's another hard throwing righty in this bullpen, and I think he could definitely either in that closing role or in that like eighth inning role. I think he could definitely be just as good as he was in those 2 years that he was an All Star.
Yeah, I agree. I don't mind the Romano signing. I'm not going to complain of getting a former All-Star reliever, but I just think that we needed to do more. Our
I
our
agree.
our signings were nice to bolster the pitching depth.
Hmm.
But then, I mean, let's get into Kepler.
Yeah,
He's going
I
to be
like it.
32 this season.
Yeah,
And last year, 105 games played, 8 home runs, 91 OPS plus.
yeah.
He is a good fielder.
Like
I will say
the,
that.
the year before that, he had 24 homers with a 130 OPS
Yeah,
plus.
yeah.
So like this, and he's been unbelievable this spring,
Hmm.
batting 375 with a 1175 OPS. Has three homers, which I think ties for the lead of the team or is up there. But no, I honestly like it. He's He's good on defense, can get on base. I think
Yeah, I mean,
Rojas end up platooning towards the end of the year, lefty righty,
yeah.
because I just think Marsh. They're not going to sit Marsh,
And Marsh
and
can make that jump this year. I really
yeah,
hope.
I think Marsh. Hopefully, Marsh can make that jump. But no, what do you think?
I don't know. I Kepler is just looking at his stats, looking at his baseball savant. Like he hits the ball hard, but he's a big
Hmm.
strikeout guy,
Yeah.
and he's not a guy who you're gonna bring in for average.
Yep.
He's your lefty platoon power hitter, in my opinion. But if we get to him playing, I don't know if he plays any more than 100 games, I would be a little bit concerned about the Phillies
Yeah.
because it's just I don't know. I feel like that bottom of the lineup, you really need to
Yeah.
strengthen this year, and it cannot be as streaky as it was last year because Stott. We'll get to Stott when we talk about the lineup, but
Yeah.
Stott was down last year. Bohm is very streaky. Casty's streaky, and if you add in Rojas, if him and Marsh platoon instead of him and Kepler or whatever they do, that could start to be a problem if you're only 4 or 5 deep
Yeah.
with your lineup.
I think one more guy that you don't have on your list for additions before we get to the lineups is Koyo Oyagi, the Japanese pitcher
Oh, I do remember
that
him.
the Phillies brought in on a minor league contract. He honestly is my sleeper for this year of a guy that can come up from Lehigh Valley and really play a lot.
Hmm.
Deep sidearm lefty, which I don't think the Phillies have seen in a while, if
No,
at
I
all.
mean I can't remember the last time we had something
And
like that.
I mean, he was a 3 ERA in the Japanese league last year, was great with one team, was okay with the other, that kind of split it in the middle with a 3 ERA, which is still pretty good. The one thing that I think can hold him back, though, especially the jump from the Japanese league to the major leagues, is he doesn't walk a lot of guys. He doesn't throw wild pitches. He pitches to contact, but he's horrible on first pitch strikes and first pitch like people on his. It's either his first pitches aren't strikes or
Yeah,
he gets
or the
rocked.
yeah.
That's one thing that he can that is gonna that he that will that he will struggle with.
Mhm.
But I feel like if he can get that first pitch strike rate up, then I think he could easily come in and be a long reliever type of guy
Yeah.
out of the bullpen that really performs and shines in his role.
Yeah, that would be nice. I think every Phillies fan would like some. Every time Wheeler comes out or Nola
Yeah.
or Ranger, there's always a bit of anxiety because
Mhm.
one day Alvarado could look like Johan Duran, and the next
Yeah.
day he could look like 2019 version of himself or 2020 version of
Yeah.
himself, where he's not hitting. But let's move down to the lineup,
Hmm.
and
I
we'll get to the rotation.
think our lineups are. I have them in. Do you have a lineup or just like
I don't have a
positions?
lineup. I only
Okay.
have positions, but
I have. I have a lineup. So
we could assume. Yeah, just give the
yeah.
lineup. I feel
All
like
right.
you're probably.
So I mean, I think the players are all the same in the same positions. I just think the
Yeah,
lineups where it could get interesting. So I do have Trey leading off,
yeah.
playing short.
I think he probably should.
Bryce batting second. Bohm third, Schwarber fourth, Castellanos fifth, Kepler sixth, JT seven, Stott eight, and Marsh nine is my order. I Stott at eight is like whatever because he could be great, he could be
Yeah,
average, but last year he showed nothing. And yes, he was playing with a hurt elbow, but I really just like that's the only spot he can go in this lineup. I would rather Kepler's bat higher. Kepler's a
hmm
big higher power guy. Will be able to get more runs in than Stott will, I think.
I
But
can see Stott as like the Braves have
yeah,
Michael Harris down in the bottom of the lineup,
yeah,
even though he's a good hitter. And if Stott can get back to form,
yeah,
that would be nice. But I feel like at this point, It's like,
Yeah.
all right, he is
He's at his bottom right now.
yeah, he's also a Gold Glove level fielder. So if he's
Yeah.
gonna bat 240, 250,
Yeah.
we wouldn't love that, but it's
It's fine.
whatever because he gives you
Yeah.
the glove.
What are your thoughts at Bryce batting second? I love it.
I mean, I like it. You need to get
We
him as
need to
many
get him,
at bats.
yeah, as many at bats as possible, and Trey can get on base more than
Yeah,
Schwarber.
I like
Schwarber could.
I like Schwartz
So
leading off, and I'm gonna
yeah.
miss the leadoff homers if
Oh
he
yeah.
doesn't play bat leadoff as many times as he
I
did in the
agree.
last
Yeah.
few years. But that's probably the smarter decision. The only thing I would say about Trey leading off is, for me, a leadoff hitter, like I want just the highest on base percentage possible, and that's
Yeah.
the one thing that Schwarber, despite his speed, kind of does have. But like either way,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna complain with either one of them leading off.
I wouldn't mind Bryce leading off either. It would never happen,
No, it wouldn't. But
but I wouldn't mind it at
yeah,
all.
Bohm in the three spot. I love Bohm. Like my heart loves Bohm, but my head.
Nobody else can go there though. That's the problem.
I know, and that's the issue with this team is
Yeah.
you just like so you could the ceiling is so high, and
Yeah.
we'll get into that later in the episode. But the
Hmm.
floor sometimes, like if they're not hot at the right time, it
Yeah.
could be disaster. So
I agree.
I think other than that with the lineup, I don't.
Like
There's
Sosa will get his run.
yeah.
Marchand will get his run.
I
Um,
really love. I will say, I love bringing up Marchand and sending down Stubbs.
yes,
It
I
needed to
hate
happen.
Garrett Stubbs. I hate Garrett Stubbs.
It needed to happen
He's
because
just not good.
he's the. I mean, he's the worst backup catcher in the league, I would say.
Yeah.
And he takes away a bench spot. And if you're gonna have him on the roster, like in the postseason,
I mean, Marchand hit 300 in his 45
yeah.
games last year.
And like he's not bad behind the plate, right?
He's better. He's a better defender than JT easily.
Yeah, and JT we'll get into why I'm
Yeah.
a little bit concerned about him, but I think the lineup has the potential to be one of the best in baseball. Like it
We
does.
need a 2022 JT back hitting wise
Mhm.
this year. Like if his defense really falls off a cliff, I'm fine with that. If he can get his bat back to that 285,
Yeah,
290 JT.
he finished seventh in MVP voting. He had a
Yeah.
130 OPS plus.
Yeah.
That is like a difference making.
Yeah. Instead of him batting 230.
Yeah, like last year was 260, 109 OPS plus. Like that's kind of
Yeah.
that's average. But all right, let's get into the rotation.
Hmm.
I think this is the part of the Phillies team that I feel best about, and
Yeah, I agree.
I just can know that Wheeler, game one of the playoffs, whoever we match up with,
It should be a win. If the
yeah,
offense can show up, it should be
yeah,
a win
and
every single
even
time.
if
Every single time he sees the mound,
yeah,
he should maybe lose 2 games a year.
yeah, and he's so good, and this rotation really is so good that even if
Yeah.
there's a down night with the bats, you
That
can
he could carry
trust
it.
that they can probably limit 2, 3 runs. That should be a winnable game.
Yeah.
What do you think about Christopher? Because he
I
could be an X factor for us.
I'll get into Christopher a bit later
Okay.
because I'm high on Christopher right now. Like he's my third guy in the rotation right now over Ranger. Ranger was unbelievable last year for the first 2 months, was it? And then he just
Yeah.
kind of fell off a cliff.
He
Like
was,
he was
he
like
had like a 1.5.
he had like a 1.5 ERA through like
Or maybe
through like
it was
15
2.
starts. Like it was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
But no, I think Christopher is going to claim that third spot. I also think Luzardo will start in the fifth spot. Then it'll become Painter by the end of the year. I just don't see, no matter how good Luzardo is, I don't see him being able to hold off Painter from getting that last
Yeah.
starting spot.
I was talking to Mark before the episode, and he mentioned Tawan. Like, at this point, what do you do with him? He's a veteran. You're not going to send him
He's
down.
going to start some games this year. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah.
Because you have him on payroll.
He's
If
getting paid $12 million a year.
Yeah, you need like a guy to step in to give you 5 innings. He can give you 5 innings, and there's some days that he looks great
Mhm.
on the mound, and then there's the other days where it just doesn't have it. And it's just like I know Phillies fans hate him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's like I don't think he's that bad. Like I didn't hate Craig Kimbrell that much either, but yeah,
Kimbrel was heart
Kimbrell was
attack every
yeah
time he faced
yeah
him.
Kimbrell was bad. I think Taiwan is better than that, if like a lot better, and I think Taiwan could give you valuable innings.
He
Like
can.
Taiwan's like a Michael Lorenzen kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean he's a veteran, and honestly, I would be fine if he's like a 4.5 ERA innings eater, like Kyle
Yeah,
Gibson kind of guy. When we had
yeah,
Kyle, like, all right, maybe he's gonna have a six earned run blow up start here and there, but as long as he can eat some innings, it's whatever because he's not going to be pitching in any high leverage situation.
yeah. No, he shouldn't be.
Painter, he's just knocking on the door, and I am
Yeah,
so excited to see him pitch
same.
in the big leagues. I mean, if he's even half of
What
what he's
everyone's
advertised,
yeah
he's going to be scary.
yeah he will.
So, oh, the last thing I did want to say about the rotation is even though we have some aging guys, Wheeler is getting up there. Nola, I can see Nola. I think he's going to be fine. He doesn't throw hard, doesn't rely on a fastball.
Yeah,
But I feel perfectly fine for like the first time ever as a Phillies fan with our farm system.
I agree.
Say what
You,
you want about Dave, but he's holding
yeah,
on to these prospects. So
yeah,
2-3 years down the line, I think we're pretty set. We're still going to have a great rotation.
yeah. I agree.
All right, so strengths and weaknesses for this Phillies team. You want to start and give your
Yeah. So
strengths?
obviously we talked about the rotation already.
Yeah.
That's like the number one. I think they're the second best rotation in baseball behind the Dodgers. But I think I have two more strengths written down here. The top of the lineup, obviously, this
Yeah,
lineup is
I have
very
that as well.
this lineup is very top heavy, but at the same time, this lineup could be elite 1 through 9.
Oh yeah,
Like
that's
it's very top heavy, but at the same time, I'm not saying that Stott, JT, Kepler, Marsh, like those guys can't be 275 hitters and just be great in their roles. Like all
like
all of
2 years ago.
all yeah, all of them
3 years
can be
ago.
good, but I think the top of the lineup, the core five, is a strength. And now I think you have this as a weakness actually, but I'm very confident in our bullpen.
Yeah, I put
I
that as a
think
weakness because I just don't know. Maybe
yeah.
it's not a weakness. It's kind of up in the air at this point.
Yeah. Like
But
I was looking at the depth chart before
we
we
have
started
Kirkring,
here. Like
Alvarado.
we have like Walker will be in the pen, which is
Yeah,
fine.
probably.
We have Strom, who was great last
Oh, I
year.
forgot about Strom. He's
Kirkering, Alvarado, Romano. I think Ioga will be up there. I think Abel and Painter will both cede time in the bullpen. I mean, we brought in Carlos Hernandez, who is decent. He's kind of like a righty Jose, big boy, like 250, 6'5", 250. Jose Ruiz was okay. Tanner Banks was just an innings eater last year. Same with Joe Ross. But there's a lot of innings eater guys, but then there's also guys that I think are elite, and I think
yeah.
that with the way that the farm system looks, I mean, you have Griff McGarry, Mick Abel, and Andrew Painter who are all three top prospects that can give you innings out of the bullpen if you need them to, and I think they will do that. And so I just think looking at the rest of the like team and where they're at, I think that that's a strength. I also think Citizens Bank Park is a strength to them.
Oh, 100%.
Very lefty friendly park.
Yeah.
Schwarber, Harper, Stott, Kepler now, Marsh. It's very hitter friendly, and I think that's going to help them a lot this year, especially like getting confidence up as well as like putting runs on the board.
hmm Going back to the bullpen, I think this may sound like an exaggeration, but it depends. Whatever version we get of Jose Alvarado will heavily impact, in my opinion, how good this bullpen can be.
Yeah.
Because if you get lights out Jose,
Hmm.
a lefty who throws 100 plus with a
Yeah.
disgusting cutter,
Yeah.
if he's like even close to where is when he's at his peak for
Yeah.
a sustained amount of time, more concerning the postseason.
Yeah.
That is like
Yeah.
huge. But
Yep.
if he is someone who you can't trust and maybe gets optioned down,
Hmm.
then I think that could be a problem because yes, we do have a lot of guys we can go to,
Yeah.
but there's no one that other than Jose and hopefully Orion by the end of the year that I can
Yeah.
if they're in the game, I'm like, okay, I feel good. This is a win.
Yeah.
We'll see. So my strengths, I also have the rotation. I also have top of the order. And then my third is high ceiling.
Yeah.
Because this team, we kind of talked about it earlier, this team has the potential to be the best in baseball,
Yeah.
especially when you look at guys like Bohm and Stott and even Rojas, Marsh. If they can get up to a level that's not even all of them, but if
Yeah.
one of them can take a jump and get to that next level, I think now you're really starting to ask the question, are the Phillies a title favorite
Yeah.
over, or are they an NL favorite over the Dodgers? Because you have Harper, who's one of the best hitters in the league. You have Schwarber.
Hmm.
And honestly, Castellanos he's in there under my weaknesses.
Yep.
106 OPS plus last year, 0.8 WAR. Like that's
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah.
He's a first percentile in base running and fielding value, -8 outs above average.
Yeah.
So
It's not good at all.
it's not good, but what I will say about Casty is if somehow he can get back to his red self, the fielding and base running will still be bad, but
Yeah.
now that's another way that we can really get to that next level.
Yeah, I agree. So, kind of onto my weaknesses here. Obviously, the back half of the order, we talked about it. Defense has always been a problem,
Oh
especially with
yeah.
this team. JT isn't the same catcher he was at all. I still think he's decent behind the plate. He still consistently has one of the highest pop times.
Yeah.
Just his frame rates are just
His
not good.
framing and the
Yeah,
blocking run saving
yeah.
is down a lot.
Nick and Bohm still stink in the field. Bohm's gotten better, but I still
Holmes
think
gotten better, but the
he's
metrics say he's
yeah,
still bad, which is
yeah,
like, how bad was he
yeah.
before that
That
he's
he's
now
still
just
there.
marginally better,
Yeah.
but he's still bad.
And then I just have my last one for defense is just Trey is Trey. Trey will make great plays and then Trey will make horrible plays. Like that's just gonna happen and I mean there's nothing you can do about it. So I think the defense is one thing that could definitely hold this team back. And then my final thing is coaching and the only thing I have to say is that Rob Thompson should not have a job. He shouldn't. After what happened last year, Rob Thompson should not have a job. Either should Kevin Long.
I agree that Rob probably isn't the guy because I mean he constantly makes questionable
And I
decisions.
hope he proves me wrong. Like Jalen Hurts proved me wrong this year. I hope Rob proves me wrong.
But Rob,
But
I
I
don't.
don't think he will.
If we go back to 2022 when Rob got his job, the Phillies were just in such a bad
Yeah.
spot. They lost. They were on a really bad losing streak,
Yeah.
and it was almost
I
like
think he was a good change of pace. But
yeah,
now we realize what he is, and he's
yeah.
Girardi 2.0.
It wasn't Joe's fault that the team was as bad as
Oh,
they
yeah, no.
were.
I
They
mean,
just didn't.
Didi was the starting shortstop for
Yeah,
most of Joe's tenure.
the masked
The
photographer
master photographer.
starting. Yeah, that's a problem.
Shout out Segura Booty. I've had a few conversations with the guy.
Oh yeah, he is a legend.
He didn't post much last year.
No, I think he's married now.
Yeah, I guess he's probably.
Probably
Maybe.
getting older.
Yeah, I have to reach out to him, see.
What I'll say about Rob is he kind of got lightning in a bottle. Like when you look at that team and how everyone was playing, they could have made it to the World Series without a manager. Rob did
Yeah.
not do anything
Yeah.
out of this world.
Like
Where
Gene
yeah,
Segura during that run was unbelievable.
yeah, he was. You had a lot of people just stepping up and
Yeah.
making making big plays.
That was elite JT. JT was raking that
Yeah,
entire postseason.
yeah, he was. And now, as we get into the X factors,
Yeah.
that's one of my X factors. If the big names can show up in big moments
Yeah.
consistently, mainly talking about the playoffs,
Hmm.
but if we can count, Harper's not really a problem. Sometimes he can get streaky,
Yeah.
but it's not as much Harper. Like, we need Kyle. We
Yeah.
especially need Trey. If we can count
Yeah.
on them,
Yeah.
so be it what the rest of the lineup does. I'll feel safe, but
Yeah.
that's a big what if.
Yeah. My number one X factor we talked about already. Like I have Harper, Wheeler, like the health of the team. Those are kind of the
Yeah.
obvious ones, but Jose Alvarado is my number one X factor this year. I think he has been unbelievable all spring. Has I think he's pitched 12 innings, allowed 2 hits. He hasn't allowed a single run all spring.
Yeah.
And he's thinner. He's
He is.
throwing the ball harder. He's throwing the ball harder than ever. He's throwing strikes. Like he looks like a completely different pitcher. And that's why I think he's my number one X factor. I also have Christopher Sanchez as one of my X factors. I think
Yeah.
he's going to be elite this year. Fastball up to 98. The best changeup in baseball, in my opinion. I think by the end of the season, Devin Williams' changeup will not be. Devin Williams throws a screwball. He doesn't throw a changeup. So
Yeah.
people will start to realize that, and Christopher Sanchez will be known as the best changeup in baseball.
Christopher
But when we get to the hot takes, I will expand on that.
Christopher plus 2,000 for Cy Young. That could be a value for
That is one of my hot takes that Christopher Sanchez will win the Cy Young this year.
I
He was plus
honestly
5,000 earlier before the spring,
yeah. Now, I mean
and
98 is
yeah,
it's that looks like
I genuinely think he could win the Cy Young. Like seriously.
if not this year, like if he is legit and
Shohei coming back on the mound is not helpful in
no.
winning that award. And
It's also not
schemes,
helpful to the Phillies just regardless because
yeah.
that
That
adds
Dodgers
another
team
arm to the
is,
rotation of the Dodgers.
yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think we
yeah,
have similar X factors. I mean, the health is always going to be a thing, especially with all these names, these big names getting older. Harper, sometimes it's not by hit, sometimes it's unlucky, but he does tend to get hurt. JT now is
yeah.
34,
Hmm.
and I wonder how much
How long they can last.
time is he going to spend behind the plate this year?
Yeah,
Because it's you can't. He is a very like he is a model type of catcher who wants to
yeah.
be out there 6 days a week, but I
But
don't
he
think his
can't.
body will allow
Yeah.
him to do that.
No, yeah, I don't think it will.
So it just I do wonder about the health because one injury and the season can be derailed.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound dramatic, but if
No,
Harper gets
I
hurt
agree.
again,
Yeah. Yeah.
we have no chance.
Yeah. All
So
right. What is your predictions?
okay,
Division, where are they ending up in the division? I know we have the Fangraft record prediction
yeah.
here, which I think is
So
completely wrong, but we'll get
all
into
right.
that in a minute.
So I have them finishing second in the division behind the Braves.
Okay.
I'm just going in like I don't want to be overly optimistic. A healthy Braves team with Ozuna, the way he was playing last year, is horrifying.
Yeah.
Fangraphs has the Phillies at 88 and 74.
Yeah.
I went a little bit higher than that. I went 90 and 72.
Okay.
I can easily see us being at last year we were 95 and
Hmm.
67. I can easily see us being at that number, but I wouldn't be like I'm not going to go in overly optimistic and then we're at 88,
That's
87.
that's where I have us. I have us better. I have us at 96 and 66 winning the division this year. The only reason I say that, and I think the Braves will finish with over 90 wins, and it's going to come down to the wire. But the reason I think the Braves can't make that jump is Ronald Acuna Jr. Even though he won MVP basically unanimously two
Not the
years
same
ago.
player that he
If
was.
you look at when he tore his ACL in 2021, the next year, I mean, the next year he only stole 28 bases, batted 266 with a 764 OPS. He was not good. The only
No,
reason he got named to an All-Star game is because fans vote for the All-Star game. He was not an all-star and he was not good. He's a full year healthy and he has this unbelievable season, one of the best ever, 40 and
last year
70,
or
40 and
two.
70, batted 340, like a 171 OPS, like genuinely ridiculous. In 2023, last year, he tears his ACL again. He was only batting 250 last year. He was worse than he was. Like, and if anything, he's going to come back worse. Ronald Acuna will not be the same player
Yeah, no, I
that
mean you have to
everyone is
wonder.
expecting him to be. And I just think that Ozuna's not going to hit 300 again. I'm
No,
sorry.
I don't
An
think he
aging
will.
an aging Marcel won't. They get Sean Murphy back. I think Sean Murphy's decent. I don't think he's a top 10 catcher in baseball. Like he's good. I don't like
Their
I really
lineup,
don't think he's that good. Their lineup's very good, but they
my
lost. They
my
lost. Their rotation is horrible. I also hot
yeah,
take the Mets finished 4th in this division.
really over the Marlins
No, the
or over the
Nationals.
Nationals.
The
I
Nationals
think the
finished 3rd in
Nationals
the
could be
division.
sneaky good. James
The
Wood is
Mets have the worst
bad.
rotation in baseball.
I mean, they brought back Mania, right?
Who's hurt?
They have um, what's the Asian guy's name? Senga. They have Senga.
Senga. Who's hurt?
He's very good
This
when
is I'm gonna read to you. Senga is their 5th guy in the rotation right now. Senga had a 3.5 ERA last year.
that wasn't that his is that his rookie year or is that
Last year,
2000?
yes, yes. Clay Holmes is their opening day starter this year.
Yeah, that
Clay
is
Holmes, Tyler McGill, Griffin Canning, and David Peterson are their is their rotation right now.
it's their rotation now as they get injured.
Severino's hurt. Manaya is hurt. Kitana is hurt. Like none of them are coming back within the first 3 months of the season. And yes, they bring in Soto. And is their lineup insane? Yes, but is there a chance that Polar Pete and Vientos both are hitting under 250 by the All Star break? I 100% think so. I really think when they have this bad of a rotation right now, they can
It's
start
going
the
to be
season
hard to win games for sure at the
they can
start.
start the season really, really bad and they won't be able to dig their way
I
out.
can see that. That is true. That is very
Yeah.
true.
But no, I think they
I
win the
just
division just because the Braves, Ozuna's not going to be the same. Olson's getting older. They lost Max Fried. Sale won't have another Cy Young season. I think he's like 36 at this point.
yeah.
Like, I think they're just getting older and they lost their second best pitcher. So I
My
think that
concern though, we know the Phillies don't always handle business
adversity.
like they should.
Yeah.
So
No, yeah.
there could
I
be a
mean,
lot
yeah.
of things
And
that
I'm
can
like,
go
I'm
away.
looking at a list of NL East winners. Like, the Braves have won from 2018 to 2023 90 wins, 97 wins, 35, which was the COVID year,
Mhm.
88 wins. But then they won 101 and 104.
Yeah.
With MVP Acuna, they won 104 games. I'm not surprised. He had one of the best seasons
Yeah.
ever. But I just don't think they will be able to. The Braves will be able to keep up. I just don't think so. I mean, he was the unanimous MVP.
Yeah.
So,
I don't I'm that's a very loose prediction for me
yeah.
because I'm just always going to be afraid of we're like I'm thinking best case scenario, but then there's also a world where Wheeler's himself, Nola is his normal like the what if man. He's really good in
Yeah.
hypotheticals, and I like Nola a lot, but we
He
know
could be mid.
exactly it's going to be
Yeah.
mid July, and we're going to be
Hmm.
playing the White Sox, and it's
Yeah.
going to be the top of the second inning, down
And
five
6
nothing.
nothing, yeah.
We all know that that's Nola.
Yep.
Ranger is coming back from injury. Like, there's a lot of things that could maybe not go the Phillies' way.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's a very like
Yeah.
it's very to be determined.
Yeah. Now, do you have any hot takes, or should I just
No, I don't think
say
I
mine?
have any hot takes. I mean, I guess my hottest take would be that I think Marsh is just gonna. I hope he takes a very big leap. If we look
Yeah.
at his start to the year, his first 2.5 months last year, he was putting up Mike Trout numbers. Do I think he's going to do that? No, but I
Yeah.
can see a world where he's good against lefties as it is. I can. He's an amazing fielder. I could see
Mhm.
a world where he's maybe in contention for that Silver Slugger and as a center fielder.
Yeah,
No.
I could see it. No, so I'll start with my. I mean, I already said Christopher Sanchez wins the Cy Young is one of mine.
Yeah, that's steamy.
Um, yeah, I think one is that Justin Crawford starts 15 games for the Phillies this year, 15 plus games.
I was going to bring him up. He would
I
be.
think he's very good and a
Mhm.
very, very good defender. Very fast. Like will be the fastest guy probably since Jimmy. I think he's faster than Trey personally.
He easily can steal in a full
Yeah,
season. Easily
60
50.
bases. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one of my hot takes. By the end of the year, he'll start 15 plus games, and then probably other than Christopher, my most steaming hot take is that Bryce, as long as he stays healthy, will have a better season than he did in 2015, which is considered one of the greatest MVP seasons ever.
You know what? I'm not going to disagree with that at all.
I think he could, like, if I pull up Bryce Harper's 2015 season, Bryce in 2015 had a 9.7 WAR. Oh my God.
And he's not even that good of a
Yeah.
fielder.
He
That's
batted he
like
batted 330 with 42 homers, almost 100 RBIs, a 1-1 OPS, a 198 OPS plus. Like,
2015, right?
yeah.
His like his baseball savant. I'm gonna put a screenshot up on the
Yeah.
video. He is in the high 90s for literally every single statistic. Like,
Yeah. If he can limit his strikeouts and not get in those like 2 week ruts where he's just like
where he's
striking, he's
where
just like
he
he
yeah.
just doesn't care. Like I really think he could have just as good of a season.
If we look at Harper last year, he's still really, really good.
Yeah.
Coming off of still probably recovering from Tommy John somewhat.
Yeah.
149 OPS plus, almost 900 OPS.
Yeah.
I mean, if he is at least that version of himself and he's healthy all year, the Phillies are scary. I can really see him coming out and having another career defining year and
Yeah.
proving that he is one of the best baseball players to ever touch
I
a
agree.
diamond because he is by the end of his career he will be on that list, but I
Yeah.
think he needs either another MVP or a championship, like another career defining moment, and
Yeah.
I can see it being an MVP award this year.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, he was up there for MVP voting last year, and he like had like
That was a good season for
he
him.
had a good season. It
Also,
wasn't anything special. I mean, Shohei's just unbelievable. But like Shohei had 140 RBIs last year.
Shohei,
That's
he could
ridiculous.
win the MVP every single year, honestly,
Yeah, and now pitching
especially when
again.
he's pitching.
Yeah.
It's just it honestly isn't fair,
No.
but
Nothing you can do about it.
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, with that, if you have anything else to add, I think
I
I
think.
I
Yeah, I
think we
think I'm
covered
good.
everything.
Yeah.
Um, like we said, opening day is on
Thursday.
Thursday. So
Or
we'll
it's
see.
today actually, but
Yeah, Phillies don't
or, yeah,
play
they don't
till
play till
Thursday.
Thursday. Did you see Jordan hit for the cycle today?
Really?
His first ever cycle. Yeah.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining over the. I
Yep.
know we had some technical difficulties,
But
but
we made it work. We made it work.
yeah, I mean, maybe we could start if we need to. If we
We
need to
could
get
start doing a
technical,
bunch of
we need to
these. Yeah.
start doing these because
Yeah.
I mean, recording was pretty was pretty easy.
It's pretty easy, yeah.
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know what you think the Phillies
Can do this year.
yeah, I mean, hopefully the expectations are met this year.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what you guys think about our takes, and see you in the next video.
Eat a rubber tree plant, buddy.